and today we're going to speak to someone very, very special to Nifnex and to me. We've got Claudette Pope. Now, have you got a story, and you have a story that needs to get out, not just within your family, not just within your friend circle, but to the world, and to keep a record of it for the future, or a business, how you started a business. Everyone needs to know these things, and very few people actually put pen to paper. And I think it's very important to do so. We've published a few books of late, actually 4 in the last a year now. But we've got Claudette, who has actually edited The Entrepreneur. Was it The Entrepreneur's Journey? No, it was actually Dear Entrepreneur.
Dear Entrepreneur.
So that's it. So Claudette, welcome. I would love to talk to you about getting people's journey pen to paper. If they can't write, you can write for them as well. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Excellent.
And yeah, thank you for this opportunity, Zishan. Yeah, it's just, to me, there are so many stories out there. My own father and mother had wonderful stories of how they met during the Second World War, and unfortunately both of them have passed away without their story having been recorded or written. And so many families, I can probably say that every family has got some kind of story. And once upon a time, families would sit around and talk to each other, and so stories would be told. In fact, most households had more than 2 generations, yeah. And so the family history was talked about. You know, the children knew what grandma and grandpa did, that sort of thing. But it's just not happening these days because of all these other distractions.
So it's all on their social media at the moment.
Social media, TV. You know, people have almost lost the art of telling a story. So they need to be recorded like they used to be. So
what's the importance of it, do you think?
Just to know where you've come from.
Yeah.
You know, where your family has come from. And, you know, I edited a book 2 years ago where 2 daughters found out from a neighbour about their father's amazing history and what happened to him during the Second World War as a civilian in Singapore. And fortunately they were able to persuade their dad to both record and write down what had happened in a period of around 12 months. And so that story wasn't lost, but it so easily could have been. And I edited it. They didn't want it to be for commercial publication, so it was just for the family, which was a shame because it was an incredible story, and in the end it was a really wonderful book.
Wow. I would probably want to read that as well.
Yeah, well, I did persuade them to send a copy to the War Memorial.
Yeah.
Yes, they did. Even though their father wasn't Australian, but he and the family moved to Australia a few years after the Second World War.
I truly believe everyone's got a story, and everyone's got a unique story that is worth actually being shared, and everyone needs to hear it. So if you've got a story, you need to get it out there, and you need to be speaking to Claudette. So when I first met Claudette, I think the only way actually sort of made an impression straight away was you told me what you do. But rather than telling me what you do, you actually just said you're an aspirin for people's writing headaches, which just stuck in my mind completely. So I think that's a great way of being remembered as well, isn't it?
Somebody's aspirin.
Somebody's aspirin. And that solves people's headaches. This is amazing. Not just headaches, but writing headaches. So Claudette, my question to you is, so there are people who need to get their stories out there. So can you send them something, almost a guideline of how they can get started to begin with? And if they need your help ongoing, yes, of course, you're always there to help them, depending on your schedule, but Can you do that? What are the factors that come into play?
Well, so many people think that they can't write.
Mm.
And once you start, you'd be surprised just how you can do it. And one of the first things that I've often said to people is, don't try and write the perfect sentence from the get-go, because even the most accomplished writers find that difficult when they first start. So the idea is you've got all this buzzing around in your head, so sit in front of your laptop, or if you're comfortable just handwriting, just do a brain dump. Anything that's going on up here, get it recorded. You can come back later and then put some kind of order to it, because I mean, we all, our minds jump all over the place because there's just so much going on in most of our lives. So it may not be coming down in any kind of order. Doesn't matter, just get it out.
So just words or sentences? Words,
sentences. It could even be dot points, which are good memory joggers. So that's the start.
Yeah.
If somebody doesn't want to write, then I can record their story.
Yeah.
And then write the story from there. I love the editing.
Yeah.
Because it's not just working with words, it's working with people who are brave enough to tell a story, and you're essentially mentoring them to really get that story out there in the best possible way.
Yeah.
So, you're not just working with a screen or paper or whatever. A good editor works really closely with their client, with the author.
So a conversation in person over the phone.
Yeah, conversations and lots of listening.
Yes.
That's key.
You do have 2 ears and a mouth, so you need to use them appropriately, isn't it? Or proportionately?
So, there are those options. You can write it yourself, use somebody to edit. The story can be recorded, and I can then work with the recording to write that story. But you should try it yourself.
Yeah.
Because it can be a very rewarding exercise to just sit there and write and get the story out. It can be a cathartic experience. I've had that experience myself, and quite often when you've got something on your mind, if you write it out, you get rid of it.
Yeah. Okay.
You can clear those memory banks by writing about it.
Great, well said actually. And so they should really be trying to write it themselves to begin with. So if it's a story that you want to get out there, whether it's your special day, so special month, special year, or it's how you started a business, make sure you put your details below, and Claudette's going to send you a guideline of how to get started and how to write your own story. Is that correct?
Yes, or if somebody's already started, then I'm there to
guide them along and give them a nudge
to get on with it.
Awesome. And other than the book, you do help people with article writing and web content and doing marketing flyers and whatnot as well.
Marketing material, yeah.
So you are the person who actually helps them with the words.
Yes.
And tell us about this. So it's obviously Claudette Pope from Third Eye Word Works. And what's the other line that you used earlier?
Third Eye Word Works makes your words work.
Try to say that one. Claudette, thank you. Appreciate your time. So you're going to basically get people to put their details in, and you're going to send them the details of how to get started, or if they've already got started, give them a bit of a nudge and sort of tell them what's the next step. So it's from the start or to the end of even publishing, you can basically hold their hand through the way. Thank you. Appreciate your time.
Thank
and
you,
keep
Zita.
watching Nifnex TV.